Really that was a great football game. We obviously come out on the wrong end of it. It's a tough one to swallow. It's hard to figure out how do you lose that game, but then when you start thinking about it, there's 2 4th and 1s in the game that we don't get. We have 2 guys running open right before the half for touchdowns that we don't hit, and we end up settling for a field goal. We turn the ball over in the red area. We don't get a turnover. We got 1 turnover in 2 weeks. And then give up a 70-yard play with 17 seconds left on the clock. So it's hard to figure that one out. But hey, we'll go back. We'll coach them up. Get them where we understand situations better, and we got to execute. But one thing I'll say, there was some guys that were fighting out there on both sides of the ball. It was a hell of a game, competitive game. And we didn't make the breaks there at the end. So we got to get back on our feet this next week and get going, and got to give BYU credit. They never gave up. They kept fighting and done a nice job and won the game.
Jimmy, then David.
Jimmy, what defense were you at the end when BYU get that loss?
The one that you don't let them throw it for 75 yards in, Jimmy.
David.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Were you trying to play a prevent or what?
Well, there's 17 seconds left on the clock, right? They have no timeouts. They got to go 60 yards to kick a field goal, or at least 40. So they can play 3 plays, right? So you play on top of them. The same defense that we called the previous plays when they lost 12 yards. So.
David.
What did you sort of see on that play? On what happened on that break? 70-yarder.
Well, we got a guy that's got a deep third, all right, and one of their wide receivers got 20 yards behind our guy that's supposed to be deepest than the deepest, and they threw him the ball and ran down there and kicked a field goal.
Other questions? Mike?
Jeremy, what were some of the issues, I guess, in Jarrett's play today? It seemed like he missed a lot of throws that were there.
I just saw 2 right before the half that I knew exactly what the play was called and where it was going, that I thought we had chances to stick the ball. Hey, we got a field goal out of it, but I think there was a chance there to hit 2 of them. But we'll see. We'll see on tape.
Patrick?
Jeremy, the red zone and scoring zone kind of issues, seems like you guys can get the ball into the 30, inside the 30 and inside the 40, but can't kind of punch it from there. Is there any reason why you guys on offense are kind of faltering when you get to that range?
I mean, we got to be more physical. We got to knock them off the ball. We don't have really big backs. Our backs weigh 200 pounds, or 190 pounds. So we've got to knock them back. We got to have awareness of the down and distance. I mean, tonight, I thought there was 3 times on either 3rd or 4th down, where there was just a little bit to go, that the guy with the ball in his hand didn't finish the run the right way. Got to have awareness where the stick's at, right? Sometimes you got to be your own blocker.
Brent?
Coach, you guys had to settle for field goals in the red zone the first 2 games of the season. What's the problem with the red zone offense? What do you need to do to fix that?
Well, for the teams that are good in the red zone, lots of times they just line up and run through everybody, kind of like that team just done to us on the last play. And right now we're not knocking people off the ball. We ran the ball, we ran stretch plays. When you get down in the red area, everybody tightens it down. The windows are not as big for the throws. There's more guys closer to the line of scrimmage. You got to get a hat on a hat. You got to knock people off the ball. You can't have missed assignments, and the back's got to make one miss down there, or run through a guy and fall forward for 3.5 yards, Get them to 2 yards and let him fall for 2.5 more, So these guys were 8-dropping a lot down there. So the windows were really tight in the throw game and kind of rallying to the ball.
Jimmy?
Jimmy, you ran the ball much more effectively in this game than you did last week.
I think we got the ball on the perimeter a little bit more. The score probably indicated a little bit to run the football, We had chances, 2 chances, to put the game away, and we didn't. Had to punt. If we can run the football and run the game out, the game's over with, right? And we didn't do that. We didn't throw the ball there on third down because based off their timeouts, it didn't make a whole lot of sense. But, you try to play to win the game there, and we didn't get that done. I look at it on offense, there's lots of things. We turn the ball over. They get the ball in the red area. We missed a couple opportunities right there before half. There's 2 4th and 1s we don't get, and we have 2 opportunities to end the game, situational football, that we didn't take advantage of it. Defensively, they're on 3rd and 5 right there. They ran the ball. We called a call that you think's good for the runs on 3rd and 6. Got a guy that's got the back. They don't block him, and we don't put a hand on him. So, guy runs for, 18 yards for a touchdown there. And then, they got a couple on us there, little RPOs there in the second half. We missed a few fits, and probably had some linebackers and defensive backs that got tired in the game. We're, especially inside linebackers. We have very few guys at that position. Jeremy Banks moved over there, but still is a little bit away from knowing exactly what to do. So we went with Will Ignat the entire game to really, because he knows what to do.
Last few, West, Jesse, Austin.
Jeremy, situations like that where BYU kind of forces overtime, those can obviously be really deflating situations. How do you feel like your guys responded to that? Was the focus, did they get it focused back in pretty quickly?
Well, that's why I called them out there on the field, to make sure that we did. We're in a good call down there. They run an RPO, and we're playing inside coverage, and we get beat inside on a slant route. It's what they do. They get 3 by 1, run zone, run hitches to the field, and run slant to the X. If you watch the film, they've probably done it 25 times in this game. So they've done it down there. We know what play's coming. Got to be able to play the plays. But I thought our offense responded and scored there, which was really good. But having to settle for a field goal there, and then the last couple of plays there, we're basically, they just willed themselves there. In my opinion, we're calling flex cover 1. We got more than they can block, and they run the ball for 5 yards, 6 yards, whatever it was, 12 yards. So I don't know. I have to see that on tape, but that wasn't a good finish to the game.
Jesse.
Jeremy, you talked a lot in the last couple of weeks about wanting to see how this team handles adversity. What was kind of your message to the guys in the locker room after what just happened?
Well, first of all, we had a lot of guys at fault now. A lot of guys at fault, okay? They played really, really hard. But the bottom line is there's a couple of errors that we made in the game, all right, that you can't do, okay? You can't do. People don't, you just don't do. We made a couple of those errors in the game, and it's tough to win against anybody when you make errors like that. So it's tough for everybody, tough pill for everybody to swallow. Everybody worked hard this week, responded the right way. Then we got to go back and do the same thing this next week.
Final question, Austin.
Coach, along the big play there at the end of regulation, did you feel like he was rattled in overtime? I know he was the score there too. Did you see anything when you talked to him that made you think he was affected a little bit by the big play?
Well, he should have been rattled after I got on to him. Come on, Austin, it's second and, there's 75 yards to go there. Just got to use a little common sense, and he'll learn from it, and we'll get better from it.
Thank you, Coach.